Like, do we push him to the back or what? Because I don't want his hype to die down.
Now you're telling us the next week that they're scum of the earth, and we need you to think.
Everybody gets a moment. Everybody gets their little shine. Everybody. Welcome, Dirt Sheet Radio Nation. I'm Sam Schluter, the straight shooter. I'm your host tonight, along with my co-host, CJ Carter and Brittany Jones. What's going on, y'all? What's happening?
What's going on, everybody? We're here for another one.
That's right, man. Another good SmackDown. And they finished off with AJ Styles, the buffed and brand new swole, I can't touch myself, AJ Styles versus Solo Sikoa. What was your thoughts on that one? The shenanigans continue. The bloodline is still in full effect. I see the smile on your face. What do you say, Brittany?
Actually, of course, I knew an interference was going to happen with that match, especially with AJ saying, you, Randy, LA, don't bother this match. Don't bother interfering. Leave me alone. Let me do me. So, of course, there was going to be some shenanigans. But for what we saw between Solo and AJ, the little bit we got, it was pretty good, pretty hard-hitting. Finally, Solo got the hint that he'll have longevity on his joints if he started wearing protective shoes. So that worked as well. But so it was really, really good. For that to be a tape show, I was very, very impressed, especially with that main event. It was good. And then with the interferences at the end, I'm really excited about this Road to Royal Rumble, and with Roman, AJ, Randy, and LA Knight. I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out.
Now, AJ's doing this thing. It looks like he's about to win. And then wham, bam, here comes our tribal chief, Roman, out of nowhere. And then, that's the DQ right off the back. But what is going to happen next? Here comes Randy Orton. And then he helps out. And then here comes LA Knight. Yeah.
Domino effect.
And then everything's going good. They disperse of the bloodline. You think for a split second they're going to be, form a little unity there. But nope. Shit hits the fan. And all three of them, which is a preview to what's to come that was laid the foundation for in the beginning of this show. The ending, they kind of like gave us what they gave us last week. They just gave us in a little bit of different format or whatever.
You're right.
A lot of chaos happening at the end. I mean, I appreciate it. It is what it was. Everybody knew this was a tape show. Everybody knew this was a kind of a throwaway show. But I mean, you want to expand more on your thoughts on that main event?
Like I said, I'm very excited about the SmackDown side as far as the main title, because you have three of the best in the game right now, all after one person, one purpose. That's Roman, and that's to become the next undisputed, WWE Universal Champion. And with how they have that lined up, especially with New Year's Revolution, in 2 weeks, I'm super excited with these three. I'm looking forward to seeing how these storylines play out, especially for New Year's Revolution. I'm even more interested in seeing who they're going to pick. Now, initially, I thought it was going to be AJ. I'm wondering, should it still be him now that LA Knight and Randy is in the mix?
Right. Well, we had a little technical difficulties, but CJ Carter is back with us. Let us know your thoughts on that main event, sir, before you...
Well, I'm back with you for now. Who knows how long it's going to be. Solid main event overall. I mean, AJ Styles very much missed. Not necessarily as terms of, like, it's already a solid main event seen on SmackDown. I'm just a TNA 2005 fan, so I mean, anytime AJ Styles is on my screen, I'm a very happy guy. So yeah, absolutely, an entertaining match, and then getting the good guys fighting at the end, heading into their triple threat match in 2 weeks. It's setting the stage for what is, going to be a great heading into WrestleMania season. WrestleMania is definitely shaping up to be a solid show, and we're going to see the sort of groundwork take shape in the coming weeks.
But before we get to WrestleMania, we gotta talk about this three-way a little bit more. I think we need to get in a little bit more deep. Let's sink our teeth into this for a little bit more, because we started off a little bit ahead of time this show, so we got some minutes to spare. So I was thinking it was just Randy, baby. You know, Randy's back. He's looking good. He's looking more tan, more buffed, a little taller, from the speculations on the internet. I was thinking it was just straight at Randy Orton, and then all of a sudden, AJ pops out of nowhere. But then the little turn that AJ did, well, he's just going for LA Knight. So we still get Randy and Roman, but now it's like this triple threat kind of throws a monkey wrench in it, and now we see a possibility where it may not be Randy Orton. That it could be any one of the three, because any one of the three is a viable opponent for Roman at this stage in his run. What do you say, Brittany?
So, as you were talking, a thought came into my mind. I'm thinking we do have a triple threat to see who's going to win, who's going to go up against Roman. I'm not mad if they decide to go fatal 4-way. I would be on board if it would be Roman versus AJ versus Randy versus LA Knight. I'm down for that, because you still have these three megastars, and then you have Roman. Like, I don't know if they'll be able to choose between the three of them who's going to win. So why not give us this triple threat at New Year's Revolution? Give us some type of faulty ending. Bam, fatal 4 at Royal Rumble.
What do you say, CJ? Or fatal 4-way?
I don't like the idea of a fatal 4-way, only because we still know Roman's going to win. So heading into WrestleMania, now all of a sudden, Roman has more momentum than I think it would even be possible for the Royal Rumble winner to have. And that's not even considering the Rumble winner may choose to go after Seth freaking Rollins. So at least if we only have one going after Roman Reigns at the Rumble, still leaves a couple cards on the table for the Royal Rumble winner potentially, or someone else to kind of pick up from Royal Rumble onward.
Now, as you said, if it's a fatal 4-way, we know Roman's going to win. Can we say in the triple threat, we know Randy's going to win? Can we say that?
Yeah. The altercation that happened last week between AJ Styles and LA Knight, that really set the table for a match between them. I think it's going to come down to, with this triple threat, either AJ or LA is going to cost. I hate the fact that they both have initialisms, but one attacking the other to prevent the other one winning, and then Randy comes in with an RKO to capitalize. 1, 2, 3, he goes on to the Rumble. That's how I envision that going, and then the other two guys continue fighting after the bell, which sets up their match for the Rumble.
Okay.
Right, that makes you got something to add, Brittany?
I agree with that, because literally AJ spoke it up tonight. The reason why he does have beef with LA Knight, and that goes all the way back to Crown Jewel. So he does have a personal vendetta against LA Knight. So I do see that happening. I do see somehow, whether it's AJ or LA Knight, somebody slips or somebody just decides to forget it. Me and you got beef 1-on-1. Let's handle it and let Randy do his thing against Roman. So I can see that.
All right, moving right along. They well, that set it up in the beginning of the show, the end of the show, the beginning of the show set up the end of the show, and vice versa. The first match of the night, the first official match of the night was Damage Control versus Selena, Michin, Shotzi, Belair, and I'm the straight shooter. I gotta call it straight. Um, Damage Control just looks too damn strong in comparison to when you see that group versus this group. And when the entrance comes out, they look more unified. The color scheme of their attire is a little bit more meshed together. I don't know, just aesthetically to the eye, to me, versus the team of Bianca Belair. The loss of Charlotte Flair really, really devastated this whole little storyline, I think. Um, and I'm just gonna say it. We need Money in the Bank. We need some Sasha Banks. We need Triple H to do something and get Sasha Banks back in WWE. What do you say, CJ Carter?
I think it was a great match. First of all, just it was very heavy hitting match. It gave all the women a chance to really get the spotlight at some point in the match. There was a bit of a funny moment on commentary where they ask, "What do you think Shotzi wants for Christmas?" And I heard Corey Graves say, "That's a loaded question, and I like my job." So I thought that was a nice little character moment for him. Bit of an odd choice, I thought, for Isla Dawn and Alba Fire to take this time to reintegrate themselves into the women's tag team scene, mostly because you have them interfering in a match to remove Asuka and Kairi Sane. You have that's the only real team in this match that's compared to the random assortment of people pissed off at Damage
But
Control that made up the other team.
but
So
does that, back to what I was saying, because of the fact that Damage Control just looks so much powerful, so much they got it all together in comparison
right.
to the other team. They needed Alba Fire, and they needed something to jump out the box. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Well, not for Damage Control to maybe get the momentum back at that point in the match, but I mean they were the united front. They have been working much better as a team in the last couple weeks, and I know that it's still just kind of leading up to this. Bailey's going to be removed from, kicked out of the group story that's going to play out, but it was still, if they were going to go after a team, you would think that they would go after one of the women or two of the women that were on the other side of the team. Damage Control is going to have their hands full with themselves and their internal civil war heading into WrestleMania. So for these women to come in and pick a fight in the middle of a match is a bit weird for me, but
It's a
we'll
little,
see how it
yeah,
plays out.
it's a little bit from left field, but I don't think that Shotzi and the crew, Bianca Belair, they weren't gonna win if it wasn't for that interference. That's why I said Damage Control just look off the entrance. All Damage Control is gonna win this one. And the match, it is what it was. It was a holiday, Extreme Rules, all the little, bells and whistles, the boxes laying around, and the candy canes. But I was like, okay, Damage Control going to win this one, because as soon as I see, they got Zelina Vega in there. No, nothing against Zelina Vega. She's a great talent. But I was like, oh, come on. Everybody's already crapping on Shotzi. Now they got Zelina. They're going to start talking about the height thing. And without the interference, I think Damage Control would have won. What do you say, Britt?
So with Alba and Ilsa, I do think it was a good touch, only because I do see Asuka and Kyrie going after the tag titles again. So as far as tag team, that part actually kind of made sense. as far as them interfering in that particular part of the match. I did think Damage Control was gonna win, but I get why the Good Girls won. But shout out to Mia for actually getting the pin. I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking either Bianca or who else? Shotzi to get the pin. I thought it
Now,
was. Go ahead.
I was talking about bring back Sasha Banks, but somebody here, Christopher Rosenberg, was talking about AJ Lee, Nikki Bella. I don't know, wishful thinking maybe. Uh, you know,
If AJ
no.
does come back, I see it as just a surprise entry in the Rumble. I don't see it as a permanent ordeal. But I would be happy to see that. Before Charlotte, as far as a favorite, it was before Charlotte, it was AJ Lee. So I'm down for that.
Now, CJ, is Alba Fire and what's her name?
Isla
Ida
Dawn.
is Ida? I'm sorry, I think I wrote that down wrong.
Isla, ISLA.
Are they heels?
Well, they were. They came up from NXT as heels, and then ever since they were called up from the main roster, they haven't really done much. But it did have sort of a dark connotation to it. Anything that I saw, so that's another reason why it's kind of out of left field for them to be attacking Damage Control, because they're heels attacking heels. But that being said, if they decided to turn them, and we'll find out more next week, we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Right. Now, moving right along into something that I thought was, we're starting to coin around here, French kiss. Backstage work, wise man, bring me the general manager. Oh, I don't think he's that type of gentleman. No. Bring me the general manager. Nick Aldis summons by my tribal chief, your tribal chief, and your tribal chief. Who? What did you guys think about that backstage segment there?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Nick Aldis clearly isn't taking any of Roman's shit that Pierce was putting up with in the past. I don't know how long it's going to be until it comes back to bite him in the ass, but I'm imagining that sometime over the next couple months, we're going to see Roman Reigns kind of flexing his power on Nick Aldis heading into WrestleMania.
What do you say, Britt?
I thought it was really good. There's two things Roman doesn't like. He doesn't like yeet. He doesn't like being told no. So being told no by this man who's no nonsense, I thought it was a nice touch. You can't really play with Nick like you'd play with Adam.
Right.
Like he's a totally different breed of a man. So I'm like, I loved it. And Roman got triggered. It was nice. And I said, I can't believe I have to admit that Nick actually gathered Roman on live TV. But it was good. It was a nice touch. I loved it.
Now, did you guys notice a lot of too much overhyping by Uso in the background, and Roman just looking like in the face of disgust, like what's going on? That's too much. He don't like the yeet. He's not liking a whole lot of nothing lately. And I don't know what's gonna happen. But it's kind of just looking like the downfall of the bloodline, just at a slow pace.
Right.
Well, and I kind of wonder why we haven't seen Roman specifically address why Jimmy has been allowed to come back into the bloodline. Like it's just kind of been, okay, I get it, their blood, their family, but you still had Jimmy super kick Roman in the face multiple times, and helped hand him his first pinfall loss in over however long,
2 years,
something like that. So how do you just put that aside and even just putting up with what Jimmy has been doing and thinking his stock in the bloodline is higher than it actually is, how he's been letting Jimmy get away with thinking that for so long, maybe that'll come to a head soon too.
Well, we're going to find out. Next up was, now I'm going to keep it real with this one, because we were talking about the arm brace last week and how and the way he won the match, KO versus Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Hayes. I'm sorry, Carmelo Anthony. I'm thinking NBA. I'm thinking NBA. You know, I kind of seen the writing on the wall, like, oh well, Melo ain't gonna advance after this one, because they were playing it too clean, and I just didn't like the whole ending of it. It was kind of like just flat. I think there was too many moves done by KO at the end. He added the cannonball, and then he added the stunner, and that was a weird stunner. The way he took that stunner, Melo took it just, I don't know, kind of Vince McMahon-esque, and just dropped. You kind of wish everybody takes the stunner like The Rock with a little extra pizzazz. But yeah, I didn't like how this week the hand was not a factor.
Right.
I didn't like that. That was some bullshit. That it was just bullshit, right? Like, it could have played a factor if it was such a big factor in the last 2 weeks. It could have been.
Why wasn't a big deal tonight?
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Brittany?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. All the moves KO did at the end was actually an overkill from me. I knew KO was winning. I didn't think Carmelo was gonna take the win. But yeah, the end, it kind of fell flat. Everything else was good though. I have no complaints about the match, but up until the ending, you could have just went with one of those moves, and I think it would have been efficient enough. But yeah, the ending kind of fell flat for me.
Right, CJ.
I disagree. I thought it was a tremendous ending. I thought it was good for Melo to have that example of how much it takes for Kevin Owens to put him down on the mat. Move after move that Melo was kicking out for made him look strong, but we still knew that Owens was going to get the win. And of course, we knew he was going to end up breaking out the stunner for the absolute final finisher. And since we hadn't seen that yet, that was another kind of tick mark in the back of my brain going, oh yeah, we're not going to see this match end quite yet. Owens hasn't hit his stunner yet.
Well, I don't think nobody's saying that it didn't make him not look strong. It just kind of fell flat towards the end, and I want a little bit more about the hand. We suddenly,
because time moves on, injuries heal.
If you're gonna have kayfabe this week, you gotta have it next week.
What are you talking about?
No, don't even say it.
I live in kayfabe, man. That's it.
All right. Listen, next up, Lashley versus Santos. Jeremiah Hubbard talking about how y'all like Santos Escobar. Listen, what did I say the last 2 weeks? Lashley's going to have to slip on a banana peel, or Santos Escobar is going to have to call some backup. Our friend CJ Carter, whether you like to admit it or not, I think he called it he hit the nail on the head. He said Carrillo and Humberto are going to come up. And I'm gonna give it to you, because I remember about 2 weeks ago you said exactly that. And wham bam, thank you, Carter. What happened?
Well, part of that is lending credence to the rumors that they were backstage, I think at Survivor Series or a main roster episode of SmackDown, or like a TV episode of SmackDown. To say that, yeah, they were going to be called up and given to Santos Escobar. That clearly got delayed a few weeks, but it's like I said when they were talking about it, then I would have rather have seen what they were doing on NXT continue. If we just end up seeing that on SmackDown for the benefit of everybody in that group, that's great. But I don't want them to get lost in just being Escobar's flankies. They have improved tremendously from their Los Lotharios days, and I want to see that upward trajectory continue because they are very much an underrated tag team. This past Tuesday, seeing Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro coming to the aid of Dragon Lee on SmackDown, or on NXT, sorry. Obviously, that it kind of comes across to me as like a trade from NXT and SmackDown, just swapping teams. Whether that is long term, we'll see for the rest of the LWO. But I think we're going to see the Garza and Carrillo permanently on SmackDown going forward, and hopefully they do well.
Britt.
So we talked about, factions being a key as far as getting people over or getting more traction. And I do like this trio with Humberto, Garza, and Escobar. I think it's more so going to help those two guys more so than Santos. But I'm here for it. I like it. It was a nice touch. I figured somebody, because this was a taping, so I said, let me try to avoid spoilers. But somebody did say somebody will be coming back, and I said that must be them. And yeah, it was them. But it was a nice touch. I have no complaints of how the match. I didn't like the ending of the match, of course. I'm not a big fan of a whole bunch of interferences, but it worked for that purpose only. So I was cool with that.
Now, what? Listen, just a thought. What? I think it's an opportunity wasted because you got Santos turning on Ray and all of that, and the build up of the LWO, and then the breakup of the LWO, only for Humberto and Angel Garza to come and be his little lackeys, like you say, Carter. Why not? They couldn't just kept the LWO coming and then made it even stronger, adding those two and having like a real strong faction. Because what's going to happen in about 6 weeks? Somebody's going to get jealous. Somebody's going to get jealous, and Garza's going to somebody's going to turn on Escobar or vice versa. And the cycle never ends when it could have just been like a big LWO faction and taking over or feuding with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, setting up something for Royal Rumble. I don't know. I just thought about that as soon as I seen who it was when the mask got taken off. What do you say, Carter?
Well, and I think that could have been the plan if the Profits and Lashley had stayed healed. They could have gone after the rest of the LWO. It seemed like they were, interested in BFAB. I don't know if they still are because we haven't seen her with Lashley in the last couple weeks. But if they do, if they did rather end up going that route, I think that might have been a bit of a disservice to the presentation. Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde are fantastic wrestlers, don't get me wrong, but even in Legado, when they were bad guys in NXT, they didn't have that edge that Carrillo and Garza bring to the table now. Even that feels weird for me to say at this point with Los Lotharios in the back of my head, but I do stand by. Mm-hmm. They have stepped up their game tremendously. And they have this real mean streak to them right now that really it backs what Escobar is doing, and it gives him that sort of edge by association.
Right.
I can see
Right.
that. That's a good point.
Let's see. What else you got to say about it, Brittany?
I do get your point as far as splitting up LWO, but I think with that they still wanted to keep what we initially thought was going to happen with Ray and Escobar splitting. Well, Escobar turning on Ray. So I pretty much feel like they just added that into the LWO storyline, which was fine because I initially wanted Santos to eventually turn on Ray. It just so happened to split up the initial LWO. Now I do like that Garza and Humberto are here because, like CJ said, they're more edgier than the other two guys. So it works well with them. So maybe they'll merge again one day. I don't know.
Come
But as of
on now.
now,
Hold on a minute. I don't mean to cut you off, but are they more edgier or are they more facially appearance on the TV, on the camera? Cause them some
that's
pretty
a good
boys.
point. Okay.
Pretty boy. In comparison to the other two members that got
Okay.
dropped and kicked to the curb, who look a little more crunchier
Now
on
we're talking
camera.
about
Like,
look
let's keep it
wise.
real.
Look wise, you're right.
That
It's
was
the
an
other two.
interesting choice of adjective.
Right. Facial feet, like if we're looking at the look, overall look, then okay, it's the other two guys, obviously. Because they look, if I'm the woman, I'm the girl in the bunch, they just look better with Santos. I don't really too much like the look with Humberto, Garza, and Santos. But other two guys look, as far as look, is perfect. But if we're looking at the other stuff, I like the other two guys with him, in my opinion.
Everyone's
But I
got
get
an
what you were
opinion.
saying.
Everyone's got a type. It's all right.
Well,
I get what you're saying though. As far as
I
like
mean,
look,
listen, look, I stand on both sides of the fence because you just can't be a wrestling fan and be like, oh, the girls are the valets and they're using this girl because she's pretty. Listen, let's put the cheese on the crackers. They use some of the boys because they look pretty too. Looking pretty deadly. It's in their
yeah,
title. They're pretty deadly. Like it's in their name. You know what? We're gonna spend a few minutes on this one because I missed.
I've got one line of text for this. I know exactly what you're. I know exactly what you're teeing up.
I missed it, and I was writing notes, looking at commercials, and scrolling the internet, and I caught it because of the internet. So it seems like they're joining our friend Karrion Kross with the Authors of Pain, who've been on contract for like a year. They just been in catering, chilling, eating all
making
the
money.
cantaloupes and fruits back there, gaining muscle mass. And is this
You,
gonna work?
you want to know what I wrote in my notes? It was literally 7 words. Holy fuck! I literally do not care. There is nothing to get me interested in Karrion Kross. If you're telling me that you're putting, or that they're putting the Authors of Pain with Karrion Kross, what does that do for either group? Karrion Kross already has a valet. The Authors of Pain, I would much rather them bring Paul Ellering back. I think he did more for the group than
Yes.
What was his Drake Maverick? Then Drake Maverick certainly did as a manager, and they just didn't fit well in with Seth Rollins and his cult that he was running at the time with Buddy Murphy. So it needs to be a version of AOP that's actually going to work, and Karrion Kross just doesn't work.
But now, Scarlett's gonna get lost somewhere in there now.
Yeah,
I mean, is she gonna be lip syncing and valeting all three of them to the ring? And when AOP has a tag team match, is she gonna valet and lip sync to the ring with them? I mean, like, are they gonna go under the whole entrance with the Raven through the sky? Or, I mean, like, how are they going to package this up? Like, is it going to be, they're under carrying costs, or is it going to be a whole new faction? Like, I don't know.
I do want to point out something I peeped with the still shot. Now, I don't know if that was just old footage. They just dug something up and just put it a part of the carrying's package. But I did see AOP, and I did see Paul Ellering. I did see him. So I don't know if he's coming back or if they just used the old clip. But I saw him, and you saw that bald head, you saw the big ears. So I'm wondering if that was old or is he actually coming back? So that'll probably be the one key thing that'll gain my interest is if Paul is coming back. I don't know how it's gonna mesh, but it does strike my interest if he is coming back.
I think it was just probably old footage. I don't know if it was anything fresh. It was just probably old footage at this point. But they probably could have just saved that. They probably could have had Karrion Kross come out alone, and he's getting beat up, and then all of a sudden AOP comes out of nowhere and help Karrion Kross. I think that probably would have been more beneficial.
I agree.
Instead of trying to prep us when everybody's gonna be like, oh, come on, what the hell? So I don't know. Carter, unload.
I just don't support this in any way, shape, or form. There's no saving Karrion Kross for me as far as I'm concerned. Scarlett deserves better. Put her in a tag team. She meshed well with Shotzi as far as characters go when they were hosting Halloween Havoc together. That could be a possible option for her. If they want to bring back AOP again, hopefully it's with Paul Ellering. But the black hole that is Karrion Kross should not be sucking in as many people as it seems to be.
The black hole that is Karrion Kross.
I mean, I wish I could put it nicer. I can't.
That's crazy. Listen, I hope. What if they come out and just start whooping everybody's butt and looking strong and getting put over to the moon? It could happen. But I think a surprise, like I was saying earlier, was probably more beneficial. But we're gonna see. Sports entertain me, please. Do something. Do something. And then we whipped back around to AJ Styles and Solo Sikoa. We talked about that a lot, but I don't know what's gonna happen. A couple of questions here. We got some time.
We did forget one thing.
What did we forget?
We forgot Dragon Lee versus Pete Butch.
You're right about that. And there it is. You're right. Dragon Lee versus Butch. I think this was just, let's get the boy over. Let's get Dragon Lee over. Butch could do it because that was a very physical match. Very, very physical from both competitors. I was sports entertained. I was wrestled entertained. I was lucha entertained. I was entertained all around. But I knew Dragon Lee was gonna win. I kind of knew Dragon Lee was gonna win. I don't mind that Dragon Lee won. But the crossover continues, right? We're still seeing WWE dust sprinkled on NXT, and we're seeing NXT dust coming back and sprinkled back on the main roster. And, like Brittany says, I'm here for it. I like it. I mean,
definitely the best showing from Butch in a while, without a doubt. So yeah, it was good.
I'm still kind of hoping that we were going to see the return of Pete Dunne, but something tells me that there's still more to the Brawling Brutes than just what's being presented right now. There was no mention of Ridge Holland by name, though. Anytime that they were talking about Pete Dunne,
he's in NXT.
Butch, rather. Well, yeah, but I mean, there's still just as a faction, the Brawling Brutes, they haven't really addressed, other than Butch in a promo saying "Brutes or no Brutes" earlier tonight.
Yeah,
I thought
right.
that I thought that Butch was gonna come out in his like solo entrance. So when he came
Mhm.
out with the Brawling Brutes, I was like, okay, so we're still running with that.
So if you all pay attention to Corey, Corey has been bringing up this whole identity crisis. So I do think that
Yes.
is going to catapult us into bringing back the Bruiserweight. I'm not 100% sure, but he keeps mentioning, every time anytime there's something that's constantly mentioned on commentary, it goes over into a storyline. So I'm gonna put a pin on that because I think that's gonna get us to Pete Dunne again. I think.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and we'll see what happens with the Brawling Brutes and Pete Dunne or Butch or however you wanna look at them is hard to keep up with the name changes sometimes. And we got a few minutes, and just like what we're gonna say, we'll wing back around. Christopher Rosenberg again. Yes, Chris. Question: Roman Reigns, is he going to take a long vacation at WWE WrestleMania 40, or is he going to win and beat Cody Rhodes? You know, I like how everybody still thinks it's going to be Cody and Roman, but now there's CM Punk, now there's Randy, there's AJ, there's still LA Knight. Um, Either
Yeah,
way,
there's a solid main event field right now that
we,
it's really anybody's game as
we talked
far
about
as WrestleMania goes.
there's a possibility they could be having them drop the title at WrestleMania and then go off into distance because of the leukemia or whatever, or on a kayfabe standpoint, you know, go for that Hogan run, beat Hogan's run, and we'll see you in WrestleMania 2025. And he'll drop it after that sometime or something. I think I seen a little rumor on the internet in the interweb they're talking about beating Hogan's run, and that
Yeah.
will hold him into like SummerSlam 2025.
So
I think that would probably be like that's it. He's got to lose it then.
I thought I did a screenshot, but somebody did
I
point
think it
out,
was Royal Rumble
yeah,
Royal
how long he
Rumble,
would have to be. Yeah.
Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Royal Rumble, and I think if he beats Hogan, that'll be fine with me personally. And I'm a big Hulk Hogan fan, Hulkamania. And so, like, if he beats Hogan and then drops the title and then walks off into the sunset, I'm good with that one. I could probably go with a whole. I know it's pressing their luck, grinding their gears, trying to
Yeah.
move that story along and stuff like that. But after this whole bloodline breakdown and stuff, it could probably be just Roman again by himself because you could get Roman and CM Punk. After Randy, you could get Roman and AJ. You could get uh, you could get Roman and The Rock still, and it doesn't even have to be for a title.
Right.
It could just be for a family line, so he could still, hold it down for one more year. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
So like I said, I feel like I get it. Cody finishing the story, and that story is winning Roman's title. But if you look at where SmackDown is now with the talent, I just think throwing Cody over on that side kind of throws it off a little bit, in my personal opinion. So me personally, if they were gonna have Roman drop the title, drop it to somebody that's actually on the SmackDown roster, I don't know. It just for some reason now with this momentum with everybody back, I just kind of feel like Cody winning. I don't think it would be more of a deal as it probably would have had he won this year. So as of now, I don't think it should be Cody versus Roman. I'm not on board with that as of now because it's just too stacked on the SmackDown roster to switch gears and have Cody go after Roman as of now. Now they're gonna get him there. I don't think Cody is winning the Rumble. Now I say probably Elimination Chamber, but Roman has options now, so I don't know how I feel about it.
It's looking like Punk could win the Rumble. Excuse me.
I can
Um,
see it.
as far as a lot of people want to see AJ Lee 8 or 9 years ago next year return to the Rumble. I think her neck is real bad. I don't know if she could ever come back. Um, that'd be nice if she comes back. I mean, if anything could happen, hell froze over. So
I mean, right? Anything possible after Punk coming back.
right,
Mhm.
right. Now, Christopher Rosenberg said again, Mercedes Verando and Sasha Banks, she's going to use her real name. Now, that's interesting because when I read that, I thought she can come back as Mercedes Monet. That's her name out there on New Japan, right?
Yeah.
She
Mhm.
can come back as Mercedes Monet as like an alter ego and run that for like however long it is, and then be heel, and then when it comes back to being face again, come back as Sasha Banks, kind of like the Bailey with the hugging thing and stuff like that. I think that will work. What are you guys thoughts on that one?
I like that. The only reason I agree with that is because there's so much of Mercedes we have not seen, and of course that's due to injury. So I'm all for her coming back as Mercedes, even with that particular theme music. I mean, I believe it's hers personally. So come back with that. I'm for it. I'm for her as Mercedes Monet. And if she decides, because I think with Sasha Banks, as of how things ended with her when her and Trinity left, I don't know how she feels about bringing Sasha Banks back. She still
Right.
embraces Sasha Banks, but Sasha Banks has so much bad blood, negativity, and I'm sure if she think about it, she thinks about that very last those last hours she was in WWE. So I don't know if she don't want to bring back bad memories, but me personally, I feel like stick with Mercedes. It
Yeah,
it just works now.
and she could probably feel a little bit more. She has a little bit more leverage.
Right.
You know, as far as rights and naming rights and
Hmm.
stuff we know nothing about. But
And
when
going
is
back
it?
to real quick and going back to what you
Yes.
said about Charlotte, now is the time to offer her the money that she's wanting. I feel like now is the time because if Charlotte is leaving. Charlotte left a void
Yeah.
on SmackDown. So
Hmm.
now is the time to like, all right, let's call Mercedes. Let's see what her asking price is. Let's sit down, have a conversation, and let's come to an agreement because I think we probably need her back now because Charlotte gonna be gone for a while. Like Charlotte pretty much blew her knee out. So yeah,
Yeah.
now's the time.
Yep.
MCL, ACL, all the
Meniscus,
CLs is gone.
yeah, that's it.
Uh,
Yeah,
Carter, you got a few seconds of thought on that?
Yeah, I disagree. I think if we see her come back, it's going to be as Sasha Banks,
okay.
only for the reasons of WWE's brand. They established Sasha Banks as the star to invest in. Who is this Mercedes Monet and why do we care? It would have been different if she hadn't been in the company the first time, if she would have had a bigger name for herself in AEW or Impact or New Japan before coming to WWE, if she would have brought that indie star power from into WWE her first time, then I think, yeah, that would lend to her keeping that name and not being rebranded, something like AJ Styles or Samoa Joe. But no, I think it would be, if anything, she's coming back as Sasha Banks.
Well,
And that's not a bad thing. Sasha
it's a
Banks
new
was a
company
tremendous
though.
character.
As we've seen in the last few weeks, it's a new company. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and new people at the helm. Hell froze over again. Uh, it, it could be like a Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Listen, when Hollywood Hulk Hogan came out and he was all in the black with the stubble and everything, my generation was like, oh, that's Hulk Hogan. and my nephews and stuff, they're like, no, that's Hollywood. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So because we know her as Sasha Banks, that could be in the back of the bank. Like, like literally, let's throw that back there, and then you want to express this new person you got out there. They let Mick Foley be 3 different personalities. You know what I mean? This could be something to work in her favor. It could be like a good grace, a good faith. Like, okay, we'll let you use this name, and then when we want you to be back, you could be a heel as Mercedes Moné, and when you need to be face, you could be Sasha Banks, and you get whatever it is. I don't know. I'm brainstorming.
I like that too. It makes
It's
sense.
just a thought.
I,
We don't know.
I think it's more likely that she would return as Sasha Banks,
I
but
agree with
again,
that. Yeah,
there's also no confirmation that she's returning at all. Certainly, there's a fan swell, and
right.
if anything, this year the company's proved they're more willing to listen to the fans than ever before. But if they're serious, then yeah, they're going to have to do something and do it soon. But again, I think it's going to wind up being Sasha Banks over Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
I
All
I
right.
get that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you know what time it is. Man, this one's a hard one tonight.
It's very hard tonight. Yeah.
This one is a very hard one tonight. Ladies first. Go ahead, Brittany. What got? Jobber of the night, enhancement talent of the night.
The only reason I'm choosing her is because of what happened.
The first woman.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say Zelina only because of the miss. Now, if you get the miss, that's automatically like Jobber, and she took it. So yeah, I'm going with Zelina. It was really hard to find an actual Jobber tonight. That's a good thing, but I'm just gonna say Zelina for the sake of the miss. It was hard. It was hard, y'all, to find a Jobber tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm penciling in Zelina. Only because she took the miss and she got to get a new wig, like she said on Twitter.
CJ Carter, who's your enhancement of the night?
My jobber of the night didn't have a match, but I had to give it to Jimmy Uso. He is just not. He's not doing well, man. Like, he is really treading water. And it feels like we are going to see an Uso confrontation at some point to start building to WrestleMania. But can we start now? Like, what is like Jimmy or Jay is still dealing with Drew McIntyre and people that still want his head on a pike over on Raw, and that's fine, deal with that, but give Jimmy something to do. Like, I feel like he's just the kid in the corner reading a book while the rest of the class is playing games. Like, he could be doing something. Let him do something. So, yeah, just the fact that they are really dragging it out that he is the second fiddle to Solo, yeah, he's my jobber of the night.
I'm going to piggyback off that because I'm a twin, and, we both have felt certain type of ways if we see one getting a lot of shine compared to the other. So I do agree with that. So Jimmy is definitely on a lower level than Jay. Like, Jay got people head nodding while Jimmy is pretty much the comedy act. So it's literally like night and day. So yeah, I get that. I understand with that. So I definitely agree with that one. So as a twin, I get it. So Jimmy must feel some type of way that Jay is up here and he down here being the comedy act. So yeah, I agree with that.
Right. Well, this one was hard one for me to do. To pick. Listen, I might get some slack for this one, but our boy Bobby did the job tonight. And
that's fair.
And if this whole Santos thing doesn't have him raising up the title at the end of it, I don't know then what's this push gonna be for Santos then? Because Bobby should have just smashed him. Throw in the towel, throw in the damn towel. Like that's type of smashing. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to pick only because I didn't want to pick Karrion Cross again for the third week in a row. And that's the God honest truth. Because, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because the AOP might come out and they might be the muscle and he could be the brains and it could work and we could be eating crow here in the next few weeks. That's thinking.
God, Karrion Cross is the brains. Good
You
God.
played it safe.
Right. We gotta give the writers a shot, because it ain't him coming up with this. But yeah, my boy Bobby Lashley, he did the job for tonight, and he did the job in a good way. It wasn't a bad way, and it wasn't an enhancement talent way. It was, I came to do my job, and he did the job, and he got distracted. And I want to mention that, all three of those guys, Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, their entrance is hitting on all cylinders. They look good together. They look like a force to be reckoned with. When are they going to start being that force that they look like that needs to be reckoned with? That's all I'm waiting for, because they need to be dominating. That's what I got to say about that one. I think all three of those guys should be having belts around them. But that leads us into the megastar of the night. All right, I'm going to take this one first, if you don't mind, lady.
And what if I did, Sam? What if I minded you getting first one? What, you think just because it's your show that you get to go first?
It's our show, but I'm going to give it to you first. And it better be better than mine.
Literally runs the control board. So of course he's going to put himself first.
It better be better than mine. So you got the stage, my friend. Go right ahead.
All right. Well, thank you, our gracious host. This is one of those ones where it's like, again, main event talent more than we know what to do with.
Don't beat around the bush. Let's get to it. Come on now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to go first?
No.
Okay.
I only want to go first because I think one of y'all got my pick. So I want to.
No. Go first. Go first.
No, go first. You got the big screen. You're right there.
All right. Well, my megastar for the night is the megastar LA Knight. His promo at the top of the show was fantastic. He's very much solidifying himself as main event talent in a pool that right now consists of Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and Roman Reigns. These are the contenders that he has to deal with, and he is going toe-to-toe with them in a way that Max Dupree could never. He is one of the hottest stars in the company right now, and hopefully he's able to keep that momentum up, because it's weird to think here we are almost a year after the WrestleMania in LA Knight's hometown, and he couldn't even get on the card. Now he's very likely a main event contender. How wild is that?
I like that.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Madame, let us know who's your megastar of the evening.
So I kind of brought it up a little bit earlier. I'm going to give it to Butch. The only reason I'm giving it to Butch is this was easily the best display and the showcase of his talent in months. You see that edge. You see like itty bitty little specks of the Bruiserweight coming back, and then tying it in with what Corey said. I definitely think this leads to us getting the Bruiserweight back. But in that match with Dragon Lee, he was absolutely fantastic. And then on top of that, he's going to call up a friend next week. And of course, we should probably know that friend is going to be who? Tyler Bate or Sheamus probably. So I'm going to give it to him. I feel like they're finally going in the right direction with him based off tonight. So we'll see. But Pete, if you get a chance to see this, I'm giving you megastar of the week.
That's a good
Well, and
one.
there were some rumors of Pete Dunne getting called up to the main roster, so it's very possible that yeah, he could be the mystery tag team partner. I hadn't even considered him.
Yep.
We're gonna find out, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go last. Is that okay with you, Mr. Carter?
I did say you could go first.
Is there another host around here that wants to go before me? Stand up
Did
now.
anybody
Right?
did anybody steal your fantastic answer?
I don't
No,
think I
and
didn't think we did.
no, you didn't, and I'm surprised. My megastar tonight is none other than the general manager, Nick Aldis. I loved how the interaction with him and Roman, it wasn't standing up. He sat down, he laid back, put his arms up on the couch, crossed his legs. He even told them, you know, Adam's a little low management. I am the general manager. The buck stops here. I am the tip of the spear. He let it be known. You're not going to be pushed around. And the man, how could you not respect what comes out of his mouth? He could sing nursery rhymes looking like that in a suit, looking crispy clean, like he's all business 24/7, 365. How could you not take him seriously? And then the end of that interaction where Roman is giving us his best impersonation of hunker burning love, the Elvis impersonation with the curled lip, and you
You
can
know
tell,
what? You are actually right
you
because
know, he really focused on
yeah.
I gotta look real snarly,
And
and
I put him down. I put Nick down as a question mark. But you're right because if you can get Roman to crack like that, if you
uh-huh,
can get under his skin, you already up there. And Nick literally walked in there like, "Yeah, I'm here." Okay, so what we got to talk about? Didn't look scared, didn't look shook, sat down. Anytime he actually mimicked, if you peeped it, he mimicked Roman's movements every single time. So if
yes,
Roman leaned back, he
he
leaned
leaned
back.
back.
Roman
Yup,
went forward, he went forward.
yup.
Roman, you dealing with something completely different than Adam. And yeah, I definitely see your point. Nick stood toe
Yup.
to toe. He said,
Power
"Oh,
move.
yep.
Power
Well,
moves.
and to
This is
kind of
not what you're used to."
Yeah. Go ahead,
Well, and to
Carter.
kind of piggyback off what Brittany was saying, yeah, with the movements, and then Nick Aldis was one of my contenders for Megastar too. When he took the chance to lay back and kind of break that movement miming with Roman, that was when he was kind of seated from a more relaxed position because he had that base of authority. He had established that dominance and knew it was time to just chill back and relax. He took Roman at face value and still very much respectfully, as far as I could tell. But as far as him solidifying himself as the next step above Roman Reigns, or at the very least, that Roman Reigns is not above Nick Aldis, he did a
Yup.
great job at really standing his ground.
Now
This will backfire later, but for now, I love it.
Mhm.
this also could, yep, this also is backfire. It can backfire, but this also shows us a little bit more cracks in Roman's reign, more cracks in the bloodline, because the wise man tried to warn him. He's not like the other guy. Remember, a few months ago, Roman would take the advice a little bit more of Paul Heyman. Wise man, what do you think of this? Wise man, what do you thought? Wise man, do this. You know what I mean? And now it's like the wise man tells him something and he ain't really listening now. Now he's really isolating himself up there on that throne that he's perched himself at. So, you know, Nick Aldis could be the fall of his reign. I, I don't know. I just want to be sports entertained. But um Randy Orton RKOing Nick Aldis, I mean, is he gonna forget about that?
No,
No.
no.
Like,
think
Well,
can
he's got a
Nick
receipt. He's got one coming.
can
Bought
Nick
and paid.
cost Randy the title for
No,
that
I
RKO?
I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see. Well, I mean, I already kind of talked earlier about how I thought Randy was gonna walk away with the win and set up AJ versus LA Knight. So that's still my opinion.
Right. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's of Dirt Sheet Radio SmackDown Rewind. Another one in the books. Next week is going to be good. For everybody that's watching next week, we got a WWE Pop giveaway for the best comment, the best question. So tune in on the last show of the year for Dirt Sheet Radio SmackDown Rewind. That's next Friday. We're going to have a WWE Pop giveaway for our viewers. The one with the best comment or the best question will decide. The panel here will decide. CJ Carter, let them know how to find you throughout the week, since they know where to find you every Friday.
I'll be here on Dirt Sheet Radio on Tuesday nights, rewinding NXT, and here every Friday, rewinding SmackDown with you guys.
And Brittany, let them know where to find you.
Okay, of course, I'll be here every Friday night recapping SmackDown. You'll also catch me on pay-per-view recaps of Dirt Sheet Radio. You can follow me on Twitter at BRayJones, BeeRayJones. The same on Instagram, BRayJones. Make sure y'all follow me. A lot of funny content, my random thoughts, all that good stuff.
All right, and as always, we are on hiatus right now, but coming back January 5th and 7th, the 2KWE, that's 2K Wrestling Entertainment. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, X, and then on Fridays, you can find me, Sam Schluter, the Straight Shooter, here, along with Brittany Jones and CJ Carter for the Dirt Sheet Radio SmackDown Rewind show. Hey guys, I had a blast. I hope each and every one of y'all have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see each other before the new year. So don't party too much, but party hardy. Are y'all gonna do some partying this week?
Yeah,
this weekend.
I'm off into the new year, so absolutely.
You're off into the New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Carter, you're gonna throw a couple of back.
Oh, probably. We'll see what happens.
All right. Don't drink and drive.
Nope.
And if you're drinking, no driving. If you're driving, no drinking. And be safe, everyone. From the Dirt Sheet Radio SmackDown Rewind family, we wish y'all happy holidays, and we'll see y'all next week for the WWE Pop giveaway. You're going to want to tune in. It's going to be awesome. We're going to end off the year with a bang. So long.
Like, do we push him to the back or what? Because I don't want his hype to die down.
Now you're telling us the next week that they're scum of the earth, and we need you to think.
Everybody gets a moment. Everybody gets their little shine. Everybody